you also need to feel as if your spine undoes from the bottom, as if it's being pushed upwards. So, you know, you've got five lumbars, you've got 12 thoracics, you've got 7 cervicals at the top, and they all need to feel like they're being pushed upwards and expanded upwards from the bottom. So this, just to go back to my avocado again, which seems to be getting heavier for some reason. So here we've got the stone, it's a bit like a landmine or some sort of sea mine or something. But the stone, oh, hang on, let me turn it around. The stone has actually split. So this is your right shoulder, this is your left shoulder, and this is your spine, which is growing up. Now, when a plant grows, it's a bizarre thing holding this plant here, but when the plant grows, it's not pulled up from the top here. It's not pulled up from the top. It pushes itself from the bottom. In other words, the spine pushes up out of the 2 halves of the shoulders here, or the body. This is really your torso, not just the shoulders. I happen to be touching your shoulders, but the torso is going down into the soil there. So the feeling here is that even when you're standing there without doing anything with your arms, you're standing there. So this here, the 2 halves are settling, but the spine is releasing up the middle. It's like it's growing. And you can't force it to go up because the plant doesn't force itself to go up. The plant just opens from the bottom. It grows from the root. In other words, let's call it the pelvis in this case. It could be the legs, but let's call it the pelvis. Or from the stone, which is the pelvis. That's the bottom of it. And it's actually, the stone is falling into the ground. That's including the 2 halves of the body. And the 2 halves are just from between the 2 halves. This is allowing itself to lengthen. Yeah. Again, language is such a problem here because I don't know about the word lengthen. Let me just get rid of this on the screen. So lengthening is an Alexander technique term, but maybe it's useful for some of you. So we have the feeling of the 2 halves dropping, and the spine growing. Now, if you now do this and you stick this on the side here, okay, so this is potentially like a couple of branches coming out. So the spine is pushing upwards from the root. Say, I know that the legs are the actual roots, okay? So this is growing up and the branches are coming out sideways, and it's all just hangs there. It should hang, which is why I say if you start doing this is not hanging. You're now, as soon as you start doing this, you're actually pulling up the spine from the top, and that's not right. What you need to do is push the spine up from the bottom upwards, and then this is part of it as well. You can consider the arms as part of the spine, if you like, or a couple of branches, whatever, growing from that expanding spine. Yeah, so the way you then hold your body becomes really important. Now, this lifting, this is your spine making it lift. This is pushing the spine up, which makes the arms lift, and then you settle, then you push the spine up. And it takes quite a lot of practice to get the feeling of this. So you have to actually take your attention to the lower part of the body first, then up gradually, and then you're up, and then settling, and spine, and down, and then the spine. And any speed you like. Obviously we're on screen, I can't see you, so you go whatever speed you like in this. But I'm now going to bring that into the first move of the Tai Chi form. So when you got feet together, now it doesn't matter what form we're on here. We happen to be doing the 10 move form because it's a lovely simple form, except it's obviously getting more complicated because I'm putting in different areas to look at. So you're going to put your weight onto your right foot and you're going to step to your left. And when you put the toe down, you are now going to sink your roots. At the moment I'm still on the toe. You're now going to sink your roots, and that includes for the moment your fingertips. They sink downwards. Everything settles. So you've now connected the 2 halves of the body to the ground. You've done song. In effect, we've done song. And we'll look a bit more at that again in a second, a little bit more. So once again, feet together. So this is a feeling, right? I know we can mechanically do this. I know you can step on your toe and put your heel down and just let your hands dangle. I realize that, but then you're just doing mechanics, and we're not interested in mechanics. We're interested in the feeling within the body. So you place your toe, and then everything, the roots Arms as well. Continue to consider those as roots for the moment, settling down. Now that means here really needs to settle. You have a feeling of this releasing around the small of your back. So this is the stone dropping down, right? So feet are together and you step out. And then your roots settle and you feel the soles of your feet on the ground.